Once upon a time, in a small town in mid-Missouri, there was a small college. This will not be the complete history of Central Methodist University. That rich and fascinating tale is for another time. Instead, this is the story about one of the most pivotal periods in that rich history. It is an account of how thousands of students, faculty, staff, alumni, community members, and others rallied behind extraordinarily distinguished leadership to shape the vibrant institution Central is today. This story will be remembered by three simple words: the Inman Era. To truly appreciate what has been achieved, one must consider the circumstances as Marianne Inman found them. Like any organization, Central has experienced its share of peaks and valleys throughout its 160 years. Central boasts a culture historically warm and nurturing, fiercely loyal alumni, and an excellent academic heritage. Thus, Central Methodist College, as it was known in 1994, certainly had its appeal when the vice president and dean of a Wisconsin college became a candidate for the CMC presidency. Yet serious challenges were apparent when the presidential search process concluded on March 31, 1995, with the appointment of Dr. Marianne Inman. The 25th president of Central, its first female president, could see the storm clouds gathering. Enrollment was struggling. Many facilities had substantial deficiencies, and labs were outdated. The college had no cash reserves, and expenditures were exceeding revenue. Change was needed, and change would come, but it would not come easily. President Inman had to learn quickly, act decisively, and above all, gain the confidence and trust of Central faithful near and far. The average college presidency today lasts just 7 years. Of Central's 26 previous presidencies, half of them lasted 3 years or less, and only one, that of Ralph Woodward, made it to the 20-year mark. For Marianne Inman and for Central, the margin for error was razor thin. Indeed, one wonders just what kind of person would take on the challenges facing Central. Marianne Inman, the daughter of Miles and the late Bessie Polzak, spent her childhood in Illinois, New York, Minnesota, and Indiana, while her father worked for Western Electric. She graduated from high school in Indianapolis and went on to Purdue University to receive her bachelor's degree in foreign languages. It was there she met David Inman, who graduated 2 years before she did and began his career in the Army. Soon after Marianne's graduation from Purdue in 1964, she and David married in Indiana, and the young couple moved to Paris, France, where David was stationed. They lived in Tehran, Iran for 2 years before returning to the States, including 11 years spent in Alaska. Meanwhile, Marianne began her teaching career and continued her education. She would obtain her master's degree from Indiana University, then her doctorate from the University of Texas at Austin. As her career developed, she began adding administrative duties. Her talents quickly caught the eye of her supervisors, and she rapidly ascended the administrative ladder. By the mid-1990s, Dr. Inman was ready to lead an institution of her own. The Marianne Inman presidency began at an interesting time. 1995 saw the founding of a small firm called eBay, the bombing of a federal building in Oklahoma City. The Dow Jones Industrial Average broke 4,000 for the first time ever, and later that year eclipsed the 5,000 barrier. O.J. Simpson was found not guilty on 2 counts of murder, and the DVD was invented. In the fall prior to President Inman's appointment, total enrollment at Central was just 1,132. Revenue was just over $8.5 million and below expenditures. Fast forward to today. Fall enrollment topped 5,600 and revenues exceeded $27 million. Those milestones are but one measure of the immense progress Central has experienced during the Inman Era. The transformation of Central Methodist defies the odds. Indeed, many small private colleges and universities ceased to exist during this time. Yet Central would flourish as perhaps never before. The Inman Era coincided with a revolution in higher education resulting from an explosion of off-campus programming. Distance learning via telecommunications and satellite, and later online programs, all came into their own. Some institutions resisted these changes. President Inman embraced them as new opportunities to bring Central's high-quality programs and services to more students. Central Methodist University today boasts a statewide presence. It is widely heralded as Missouri's leader in partnerships with every community and two-year college. Some 2,000 high-achieving high school students across the state take dual credit courses from Central, another area in which Central is an acknowledged leader. Online learning has made Central Methodist University accessible throughout Missouri and in at least 27 other states. The initiation of graduate studies is another way CMU has expanded and diversified its academic portfolio. It also enabled Central to evolve in stature from a college to a university in 2004. Other institutions have followed similar strategies. In fact, some opted for shortcuts, focusing resources on off-campus and distance learning operations to the detriment of the main campus. For President Inman and CMU, the goal has been a delicate balance between the colleges of liberal arts and science and graduate and extended studies. Indeed, the revitalization of the beautiful main campus in Fayette rivals any accomplishment of her presidency. The centerpiece, by all accounts, is the stunning Student and Community Center. Opened in the fall of 2005, this 60,000 square foot facility was the first major new building at Central in some 25 years. It was the focal point of a $31.5 million capital campaign, the largest by far in CMU history. Yet that ambitious, transformative campaign meant much more than a shiny new student center. An increase to the permanent endowment, upgrades to many other buildings, classrooms and labs, technological upgrades, and campus beautification. All that and more were enabled by the Campaign for Central. Even more importantly, it showed the world just what Central Methodist is now capable of achieving. Soon after that campaign ended, Inman led the university into another multi-million-dollar initiative, principally focused on upgrades to Eagle athletic facilities. Its successful completion brought benefits to every Central athletic program. Nor was President Inman finished. The next great cause would focus on a piece of history that had become an eyesore and a liability: the century-old Classic Hall, shuttered for nearly 30 years. The Classic Renaissance campaign, targeting over $5 million, went public in the summer of 2008. Within weeks, the U.S. and subsequently the world economy was crippled by an economic collapse whose impact is still felt today. Yet, the Classic Renaissance campaign exceeded its goal on schedule against the longest of odds. It stands as one of the most remarkable achievements of the Marianne Inman presidency. But as President Inman would be the first to say, the strength and vitality of a university is not measured in things. It requires dedicated, talented faculty, a dynamic and committed governing board, a top-notch executive team, a student-centered professional and support staff, and loyal and generous alumni. For Marianne Inman, the formula for success, her own and that of the university, has been a complex one. Embrace the culture and heritage that has made Central unique. Maintain academic integrity at all costs. Develop and surround yourself with an outstanding, committed leadership team that understands and accepts the President's vision for Central. Populate the governing board with talented, dedicated, successful individuals truly committed to the university. Always look for new programs to meet student and society needs, and have the courage to abandon ones that do not. And dream big dreams. Take some chances. Seize opportunities as they present themselves, and create opportunities when they do not.
And so we, the students,
the faculty,
the staff,
the alumni,
and the countless friends of Central Methodist University would like to take this opportunity to say,
thank you, Dr. Inman. Thank you for your guidance, your wisdom, your leadership, your dedication, and your tireless efforts. Thank you, Dr. Inman, for making a very special institution the very best it can be. Thank you for setting the stage for even greater things to come. Your presidency may be at its end, but your legacy will live on, and your accomplishments will remain a remarkable story in any history written about Central Methodist University.